It appears to be a season of caution to President Muhammadu Buhari at a statement advising him on key areas of the Nigerian economy. Early warnings to him on things he must do to avoid a collapse of the Nigerian state. And the crisis rocking the leadership of the People's Democratic Party appears not abating at all. This time, Lagos leaders blame governors and some individuals for manipulating delegates' lists and plans to scatter the chances of the Southwest region, leading the party. That's our focus on the program. Many thanks for having your company on the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. We're reaching you live from our global headquarters as we celebrate 21 years of professional broadcasting. I'm Seun Kimale. I'll be piloting the affairs of this program for the next half hour or so. Before we dive into the major issues of the day, let's take a quick look at some of your top political stories we're tracking for you at this time.
Political roundup on Channels Television. Here are your top political stories this time.
Corruption at the state level is said to be one of the reasons some states cannot pay their workers' salaries. The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Wabba, says if Nigeria is to build a stable and vibrant democracy, the judicial arm of government and local government should be granted full autonomy to function. Comrade Wabba made this known during the opening ceremony of the 3rd National Delegate Conference of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria in Katsina State. He says Nigeria cannot fight the monster of corruption if the autonomy of the judicial and local government is not attained.
The reason why most states and most agencies cannot pay salary is not because we have not gotten resources. If you look at the monumental resources that have accrued to Nigerian states, particularly the 3 tiers of government, from inception of democracy to date, is something that is mind-boggling. But what can we show for it?
And a similar conversation around sustenance of Nigeria states appears to be in vogue. In Anambra State, Nigeria's southeast region, the governor has promised to increase salaries of workers across board, but only if the state's revenue is increased by ₦1 billion. The governor, Willie Obiano, announced this when he paid the workers a visit at the commission secretariat in Oka.
What we have found out is that most of the revenue that we are collecting are going to private pockets instead of coming to the government. And you can help to block it as civil servants in the local government area. So I have told all staff in Anambra that if they move my IGR from 1.2 billion to 2.2 billion, I will increase salary across board.
And the tension generated over who becomes the APC candidate ahead of the governorship election in Ondo State is still on, as the party has moved the date of the primary. The party plans to hold the primary tomorrow, Saturday the 26th, in Akure, the state capital, but has now been moved to Wednesday the 31st. There has been allegations of the plans to impose a candidate on the party by one of the party's leaders, Senator Bola Tinubu.
And you're up to date. Those are your top political stories you need to know.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's quickly check with one of Nigeria's leading opposition party in Nigeria. The leadership crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party and the controversial National Convention in Port Harcourt may have come and gone, but some of the controversies generated by it is not gone at all. From the controversy of security operatives selling off the venue of the convention to the controversies on delegates list, it looks like a fresh trouble may be brewing. Today in Lagos, the leadership of the party summoned delegates assembly where a report of what happened at the National Convention in Port Harcourt, the capital of Rivers State, was discussed. The chairman of the party in Lagos, Mr. Moshood Salvador, did not mince words at all and did not also economize his language when he began to hit at some leaders of the party. Take a listen to him.
At the point we had to vote, the vote was 59 to pull the chairmanship in Southwest against 3. One of the 3 was Fayose. This is the first time I can see a Yoruba man pushing blessings away from his zone. And the spirit of our fathers refused and brought that blessing straight to our zone. And that's a shame. All the states in the north, 20 northern states, I arranged all of them. They held meeting with Chief Olabode George in Abuja. They were all with him. Will you believe that all of them, five delegates, were removed from all their states? The Lagos State delegate, this is the total number, 66. 61 tags were packaged for me. I was asking for the remaining 5. They removed 5 from all because of their manipulation. If this is the way Governor Wike believes he can manipulate rivers, it is not possible for him to manipulate Lagos. And somebody will now sit down somewhere and be lying to you that they are the one funding the party. They fund no party. EFCC should go and check them. With the full cooperation of every member of PDP in Lagos State, some unscrupulous individual went to Abuja to manipulate all these lists.
Very emotional chairman of the Lagos PDP. They're talking about some of what went down, some of the things that we did not hear at the venue of the National Convention or what happened in Port Harcourt. But within their ranks, some of these issues are now coming up of how some governors allegedly manipulated delegates' lists at that convention and the plans to scuttle the chances of their leader, Chief Olabode George. One of the major issues that have thrown up controversies again in the PDP in Lagos and in some other zones of the country, where we keep track of some of these issues and bring them to you as they develop. Well, let's move now away from partisan politics to issues relating to the state of the nation, to a major story of the day now. Many words of caution have come to President Muhammadu Buhari on the economy, security, and his policies. He's been advised not to go in the way of his predecessor. Spending about 2 years of a 4-year tenure means that he is running into the second half of his mandate as president of Nigeria. But as it stands now, and considering the state of the economy, Nigerians at the moment will pray for either a miracle to happen or a magic to change things around. Well, let me remind you quickly of some of the warnings that have been given to President Muhammadu Buhari. First, by a former Apex Bank governor and now the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi. Take a listen to him now.
You can't just keep borrowing money and paying salaries, and not building roads, and not improving power. And we'll come and see the numbers, the per capita investment in development in Nigeria, the per capita revenues we're getting. And this was all from a resource that was in an enclave economy. And just so that we're not always blaming the previous administration, we have also made mistakes in this administration. We have started retracing our steps, but we have to retrace those steps. And if we fall into the same hole that we fell into the last time, where the government is always right. You know, when the minister is there, you tell them, oh, you know, Honorable Minister, Nigeria is very lucky to have you in office. No, you tell the minister, you're doing well, sir, but you know, there are these areas where you must change. We are not devaluing, because if we do, the poor people will suffer. You know, the people that were profiting from this were people telling the government that if you devalue, people will suffer. Meanwhile, they all got the dollars at 197 and priced their goods at 300. The poor paid the price of a devalued currency, the rich skimmed off the profit. And it went on for 1 year. We talked and talked and talked.
That's the Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi. Another former Central Bank governor has spoken about this, saying that, well, is the APC listening We'll take a listen to that. When we go on this break and come back, my guest is already seated. Stay with us.